Listen, me and scales don't really have a good history. For most of my life, I really honestly refused to own one. But let me tell y'all how this little $20 scale gathered me and ultimately helped me get my wellness routine back together. So I've always tracked wellness by how I felt. And that for me was how my clothes fit, how I moved, my energy levels, what I saw reflected back to me in the mirror. And then there came a stretch where my iron levels dropped really low and I was at doctor's appointments like 1 to 2 times a week. And the first thing they do at every visit is weigh you on those little baby elephant scales. And even accounting for the fact that doctor's offices do tend to place your weight higher because they're notorious haters, I couldn't really pretend that the numbers weren't climbing. And we're talking about a pound a week. And that really helped me see that stress was a really big factor in what I was seeing. So healing for me meant revamping that relationship and learning to just really notice. So I started doing what I called weekly body transformation check-ins, where I would take my measurements, well, how my body had been responding to things that I had done over the week, like movement, sleep, what I ate, my cycle, stress levels. And a really big part of that for me was this Renpho Smart Scale. It's very thin, tiny footprint. It does connect to your phone via Bluetooth. It will display your weight right here. So if you just want to use it like a traditional scale, you can. But in the app, you do get about 12 to 13 health markers. And I think there's things like your BMI, your body fat percentage, muscle fat, visceral fat, subcutaneous fat, metabolic age, and they're all color coded so you can see at a glance where you sit. Um, you can set your personal goals and you can also track your trends and milestones over time in the app. I will say that they do have a full range of scales that are super advanced and will give you way more data. But for my needs, those 12 to 13 markers are perfect. And this was under $20, so really good deal. That said, I do want to say that I don't believe metrics like BMI are the ultimate measure of health. So most quote unquote universal standards don't fully account for things like race, genetics, and body composition, sometimes even gender, because like most things in the health industry, they model white men as the standard. So these numbers may not be the end all be all, but there is real value in awareness, especially around things like visceral fat, which is generally fat that's going to be stored around our vital organs. And that's your Wellness Tip Wednesday for this week, and I will see you next week.